I'm Kiva Canavan. I'm a PhD student at Imperial. I'm working on mammalian cell-free systems.
I'm Bethany West. I'm also a PhD student at Imperial, and I'm interested in engineering alternative carbon fixation pathways. I more came from a plant science background. I was really interested in trying to improve the efficiency of photosynthesis in general. There's obvious agricultural implications for that. But I got really interested in synthetic biology because I really like the more engineering approach that it's taking towards biosciences research. So really going in from a sort of computational background, designing the design of experiments sort of approach, and then taking that into the lab to do some really interesting new metabolic engineering.
I quite like the standardization and metrology side of synthetic biology because in biology in general, there's no reproducibility. You'll do one experiment one day and it will work perfectly fine, and the next day, for absolutely no reason, it won't work. So in synthetic biology, we're trying to standardize things. You're using lots of robots, using lots of biofoundries, etc., to kind of overcome that so that we can reach all the potentials that we have with biology. I mean, there's so many, you can treat diseases, you have biofuels, there's so many industries that we could revolutionize, but without the standardization, modularization part of it, then I don't think that's as possible.
So I think it's always important to promote sciences across the generations, but I really think that sort of our age group that have grown up with computers, the internet, we've got all of these tools and resources that, sort of 5-year-olds know how to use iPads now. So I think sort of growing up with that technology, it's sort of embedded into our lives, and I think it makes us more adaptable to using it as a tool for synthetic biology that maybe older generations aren't as reliant on. I think we can all the generations can learn from each other, more classical biosciences research, but then bringing some new techniques from the younger generations through, I think is really important. So for example, in metabolic engineering, we're actually getting to the point where we're designing new pathways from different genes across different domains of life. And actually just having the tools computationally available to do that, we wouldn't have had sort of 30 years ago. And I think having students kids in school nowadays, they're taught how to code. And I think actually having those computational skills, that you can so easily access all of this database information that I think even previously, if you know it's there, you'd be sort of skimming through different enzymes one by one, looking for what you want, whereas you could sort of write a line of code that would bring all that information out for you. And I just think it's that kind of having the biosciences background and having enough information that you know what you're looking for, but then having those kind of technical skills, I think, is sort of what we need in synthetic biology at the moment.
I think it's just great to see so many startups, so many people have just left their PhD and come up with an idea and gone and been really, really successful. So it's really inspiring to see that, and you can go and talk to them all. So it's a lot of these events you might not be able to go up and just ask them questions, but there's stands all around where you can go talk to all the companies, big and small, and interact and get advice, because I think people are very open about wanting the next generation to be able to come up with ideas and be able to get funding and know how to do that, which is really great and really inspiring.